So you're thinking about taking your Canadian business global? That's a massive opportunity, right? But then there's the paperwork. It can feel like this giant, impossible wall. Well, that's what we're here to do today. We're going to break down that wall piece by piece and show you how to turn all that red tape into real profit. And hey, don't just take my word for it. The Canadian Trade Commissioner Service says it flat out. Trading abroad boosts your profile, your credibility, and your bottom line. I mean, think about it. You're not just selling more stuff, you're accessing totally new markets, new customers, and you're spreading your business risk far beyond our borders. It's a true game changer. And here it is, the million-dollar question, isn't it? Where do you even begin? This is honestly the #1 hurdle that trips up new exporters. All those regulations can feel like you're trying to solve a maze, blindfolded. But don't worry, stick with me, because by the end of this, you're going to have a crystal clear map to get you through. The best part is, you're not doing this alone. You've got allies. Think of the Canada Border Services Agency, you know, the CBSA, and Global Affairs Canada as your official support team. The CBSA handles all the border rules and makes sure you're compliant. Global Affairs Canada, they're the ones managing the big picture trade policies. They literally provide the rulebook and all the resources to help you win. Okay, let's get right into our first practical step. Before you can even think about shipping anything, you need to get your business officially recognized for trade. This is like getting its passport. Your first mission is to get a business number, or BN. This is your company's unique 9-digit ID for everything it does with the federal government. It is absolutely 100% non-negotiable. And get this, even if you hire a customs broker to handle all the shipping for you, they still have to use your BN on all the documents. There is no way around it. Getting set up is actually a pretty straightforward 3-step process. First, you need to register on the CBSA's CARM portal. That's their online system for everything customs related. Second, through that same portal, you'll get your business number. And finally, you just need to add an RM program ID to that account. That little code is what officially flags your BN for exporting. And that's it. You're officially in the system. So now that you're registered, let's get into the nitty-gritty, the documents themselves. Really understanding what these are is the key to a smooth, headache-free process. This table right here answers the biggest question for almost every exporter. Do I need an export declaration? Let's walk through it. Shipping to the United States, the answer is generally no. Unless you're shipping restricted goods, we'll touch on that in a sec. For every other country, it all comes down to value. If it's under 2,000 Canadian dollars, you're usually good to go. But if it's over $2,000, then yes, a declaration is required. And notice that very last row. That's the golden rule. If your goods are restricted, it doesn't matter where they're going or what they're worth. You always need a declaration. So what does restricted actually mean? Well, think of anything that could affect national security, public safety, or the environment. We're talking about things like firearms, certain technologies, some chemicals, or even cultural property. If your product falls into one of these categories, you're going to need to get special permission, no matter what. Now, that special permission comes in 3 main flavors. You've got permits, certificates, and licenses. A permit is usually a one-time thing for a very specific shipment. A certificate is different. It's there to prove your product meets a certain standard, like for health and safety. And then there's a license, which is for ongoing exports of specific, controlled goods. Knowing which one you need is crucial. One of the most valuable documents you can have is the Certificate of Origin. This thing is like a golden ticket. It's the official proof that your product was made right here in Canada. Why does that matter so much? Because of free trade agreements. It could mean your customer on the other end pays way lower import taxes, or even zero. That gives you a serious competitive advantage. And make no mistake, this is a formal legal document. The quote you're seeing here, that's the exact official language from the CUSMA trade deal, the one between Canada, the US, and Mexico. When you sign this, you're making a legally binding statement that your stuff is legitimately Canadian. Now, depending on your situation, you might bump into a few other forms. The ATA carnet is fantastic. It's literally nicknamed the passport for your goods, and it's perfect for temporary exports, like if you're taking materials to a trade show. There are also specific forms for things like temporarily exporting equipment that you plan to bring right back, or for re-exporting goods that were originally imported into Canada. All right, let's move on to the final action step before your products can actually leave the country: officially submitting your declaration. And with this step, I promise you, timing is absolutely everything. You're going to be submitting your documents electronically. For most small and medium-sized businesses, the CERS web portal is the way to go. It's pretty user-friendly and designed for you. Now, if you're a really high-volume exporter, you'd likely use something called G7 EDI, which is an automated system that hooks directly into your own internal software. Okay, pay close attention here, because these deadlines are critical and they are not suggestions. They change based on how you ship. By sea, you have to file 48 hours before your goods are loaded. For air or rail, it's 2 hours before departure. By mail, it's 2 hours before you drop it off. And by highway, it's immediately before you cross the border. Missing these can cause major delays for your shipment. Once you successfully submit everything, you'll get a confirmation number called a proof of report. Think of this number as your shipment's green light. It's the official go-ahead, and it is your responsibility to give this number to your carrier, the trucking company, the airline, whoever it is. Without it, they cannot legally take your goods out of Canada. Okay, your products are on the move. Fantastic. But your responsibilities aren't quite finished. The journey isn't totally over yet. Let's talk about what you need to do after the fact to stay compliant. 6. Just remember that number. 6. That is the number of years you must keep all your records related to your exports, and they have to be kept physically in Canada. This includes all your invoices, your permits, your declarations, everything. 6 years. So to wrap it all up and stay compliant, just keep this simple checklist in mind. 1. Keep all your records for those 6 years. 2. Be ready to provide a certificate of origin if your buyer needs one. And 3. Just be aware that there can be penalties for not following the rules. At the end of the day, being organized is your absolute best defense. So, there you have it. You've navigated the paperwork, your goods have shipped, and you've followed all the steps. You've proven that you can do this. So the only question left to ask is, what market are you going to conquer next?